So to start off, what exactly? Okay, hope I'm loud and clear. Thanks. So just to start off with, I would like to introduce Mr. Enrico, Director Data and AI at ZILLIONe Technologies, to give you a brief keynote on today's session. Enrico, over to you.
Thank you, Sonali, and thank you for all the audiences who have joined the webinar. So this is basically on, consultation-led kind of streamlining your legal operations. So when you look at kind of every legal team that we have spoken to, and I believe you too, knows, the kind of the quiet cost of routine contract work, right? On our own analysis, we have found that in-house teams show like 60 to 70% of their legal time goes really for the first pass review of a document, of a contract, and so on. So it can be NDAs, vendor agreements, standard MSAs. That's the time that legal minds are spending on figuring out what are the risks, what are the strategies, or that can, move the deals of the business. But that 60 to 7% time adds up to weeks of, discussions and reviews that the business cannot kind of cope up with, or they need faster outcomes. So today we want you to see three ways that AI changes that particular math of, not spending 60 to 70% of your time on first pass, as well as kind of reduce the overall contract signing time without taking the legal judgment out of your hands. But before we get to the benefits, I want to clear about a few other things. One thing is the compliance first approach that we have. So given the regulatory compliance and board level governance expectations that all organizations have that we deal with, we take a very high level view of compliance first. It's not just an AI tool in our approach from day one. So there is no compromise on that. So first thing is that all data resides exclusively inside your organization's tenant. It doesn't come to ZILLIONe, it doesn't go to Microsoft, it doesn't go anywhere. All your data resides in your tenant. Nothing leaves your environment at any point. So the second one, that every solution is designed to fit inside your legal board approval workflows. It's not a product that we are going to put. It is the engine we are going to show, but the deployment will be based on kind of your established workflows. Nothing bypasses the oversight or the chain of oversight that your organization has. So, and one key thing is, while the AI will support the qualified legal professionals, the objective here is never to replace them. It only handles the triage, the first pass, the knowledge retrieval, and the final judgment and risk assessment is up to the legal teams themselves, the humans themselves. So the guardrails are defined before the technology or the platform is chosen. And that is the first thing that we want to put. And full sovereignty, full confidentiality, full thought of the engagement is owned by the enterprise client themselves. So having said that, because that is a question that always comes, we want to really reiterate our compliance first view of all the solutions that we give, especially in the legal kind of a thing. So let's go to some of the benefits that we have. I think I mentioned this, the shorter time to process a contract. That's the biggest thing that we have. And you will see during the demo. I don't want to take the whole thing out of the demo, how it happens, but we look at maybe 50 to 80% faster first pass that we can do on general counsel kind of things that you do on a routine basis. So the second one is like when you have clauses as a corporate, you will have okay, these clauses are mandatory in, we'll say, a subcontractor one. These clauses are mandatory in a sales agreement, and those things you do check. So this checking becomes AI driven, so that if there is a clause that should be there, it'll kind of tell you it is not there, or it is vague, or it needs to be strengthened, those kind of things. So when the agreement is signed, you have that airtight agreement that you always wanted. Nothing goes out of your purview just because there's a time factor or there are too many contracts to review. All those things are kind of got done, and you know that from day one that you start using these systems, all your contracts will be consistent depending on what the logic you give, and not dependent on the lawyers or the GCs that are working on it. So that is the second kind of one. And the clause suggestion. So if there are clauses, we'll say you get it from a vendor, that clauses, it will suggest, we can suggest you clauses saying that, okay, you can make your agreement tighter with this is missing. And those clause libraries you can define based on your contracts so that we can pull it in and make those contracts better. So basically, to end my keynote, so it's basically faster processing, mandatory clause without exception, smart suggestions, all sitting inside your tenant and not going out. So that's it from me. And the question isn't whether kind of AI belongs in legal. It is like how much of your team wants to have AI done or done through AI to make their processes faster, more accurate, and better. So with that, I will introduce Sonali, my product manager who does on data and AI, to go through some of the demos, and then I believe I'll be back for one of the other discussions too. Yes, Sonali, over to you.
Thanks, Andrew. I think a really insightful keynote. I think there's nothing much for me to explain as well. So jumping off to the contents. So basically, from today's session, actually, we are looking at three aspects. So what's the mirror, the reveal, and the outcome. So basically, as what Enrico mentioned, so it's always about we always think from a compliance first lens when we're evaluating AI for legal corporates specifically. And also, I'm going to discuss a few points on what's a reality that in-house legal teams are facing right now. And also, based on that, I would like to explain on why AI transformation is not going to be optional choice for all the legal corporates in local market, and some of the legal use cases that we feel where AI can deliver value. And also, I'll be showcasing you a few use cases where we feel that AI could give you the highest benefit with regard to contract triage and case knowledge retrieval. And also, right after that, I'll be also showing you the practical framework of where to get started. And finally, wrapping it off with why consultancy will be a critical first for you all to start. So I'm not going to go through the outcomes in detail, because I think Enrico already covered everything in the keynote itself. So basically, right after the webinar, you will walk away with what are the legal use cases and also the compliance first lens, as I mentioned you before, and the practical framework for spotting the right starting points. So moving into the reality of in-house legal teams. So basically, we have seen, like, as what Enrico explained. So we could definitely see, like, most of the teams are spending more time on routine work, like say reviewing contracts manually, and there are different kind of agreements and like different documentations that need first pass stretch. So I think most of the legal teams are drowned in routine work, and basically when it comes to compliance, like like some of these high value tasks are getting deprioritized because you need to spend more time on on this routine work which can be automated using AI. And when it comes to like approvals, like say once the first pass triage is being done on a specific NDA or a vendor agreement or MSA, what sort of a thing. So we can see that the group legal counsel will be ending up, like he will definitely end up signing off every commercial deal and from a very simple NDA to very complex transaction. So this will definitely affect installing the business velocity. Okay, and it will definitely impact and will create a single point of failure risk as well. So we will also look at how these starting from a like from automated document review up to automated approval, how we can use AI to like automate an entire workflow within the in-house legal teams. And when it comes to outsourcing, we definitely know like when we're outsourcing to different external law firms, like it's very costly, and even sometimes you might not get the expected thing done within a limited time frame. And hiring more in-house lawyers will will rarely get a budget approval, and like it will definitely leave the teams stretched thin and unable to keep up with the demand as well. So, and the final point, what we usually see with in legal corporates, legal organizations, is that these manual reviews always create a risk. So, these inconsistencies will definitely come when it comes to when we are doing this in a routine manner, and and the most important thing is like when we're doing it manually. So these are just a few points, just a few bottlenecks and pain points that we have identified across different legal segments. But there can be other more use cases that you might be thinking of right now. So, like at the end of the webinar, you can definitely just drop your questions, drop your any pain points if you have, so we can address it to you then and there. So, as I mentioned before, these are just a few, like some common reality problems that we have seen within in-house legal corporates. So moving into the next slide, since I've gone through the reveal part, I just want to show you why AI transformation is no longer going to be an optional thing. Because when it comes to efficiency, effectiveness, and when it comes to from a P&L profit and loss perspective, we could see that there are different aspects that we could see that can be automated, which will definitely save you time, save your team's time, and where this time can be invested into more high prioritized work. So, like as you can see in this slide, there are different metrics, different aspects that we have taken into consideration just to justify that why AI transformation is no longer going to be optional thing for legal corporates. So I'll just summarize it for you. So starting with the regulatory complexity and going ahead to from a reactive and a proactive perspective. So these points will definitely be a kind of a center point where you will feel that okay, so this like the time for you all to move from manual repetitive work to automated frameworks to be utilized within the organization itself. So some of the common legal use cases, like apart from the ones which I mentioned in the previous slide, so these are some of the few use cases that we feel that where AI can definitely deliver value. So from a value perspective, there can be time saving, cost saving, and also headcount reduction as well. So contract triage and first pass review, I think I have already explained it to you. So case knowledge retriever, policy and compliance QA. So we could see that. Staff members are going across different departments, and if they want to get to know a specific part of information, and definitely we can see how these kind of simple pain points, simple business challenges can be addressed using AI as well. And when it comes to NDA and vendor agreement processing, definitely we could see like there's a high volume of documents that you want to process per day, right? And as I mentioned you before, so this work will still require a legal sign off on every item, and this will definitely create a bottleneck within the business process. And when it comes to approval, for like as I mentioned earlier, so even a simple contract will end up at the GL level, and so that the highest point, the highest approval, the highest authority will still spend more time in like leaving signatories and everything. So these are just a few, but there can be more pain points and bottlenecks that you might be facing within the current business process within the organization. So these are just a few, but I'll be jumping straight off to the demonstration so you can get a better idea, better understanding of how AI can be properly utilized to address each one of these pain points and bottlenecks which we have showcased to you. So I'll start with the first one, which is the which is use case number one, contract triage first pass review. So we have seen like most of the legal teams are spending more time on reviewing documents when we like say different agreements, and there can be different high confidential documents that you want to review it manually, and there can be different like from a simple to a complex documents that you are reviewing manually. So, what AI brings value is that we can definitely use AI to like read the contract and extract key clauses, and if there are any risk within the documents or the agreements, we can flag them, and if there are any deviations from the standard terms, also we can catch them up. And even we can use AI to highlight inconsistencies in the document itself, right? So when compared from a timing perspective, you could see like you might be spending 1 hour to like do all these things, do all these checks in a one specific document. But when it comes to AI, it might take just it's a matter of minutes that you might have to spend to get the entire document checked and validated at the same time. So how it works? So we upload the document and we extract the clauses, and we also flag any risk, and we also track any. We also detect any deviations if there are any in the document itself, and finally it will go to a human review and a sign off, because whatever the thing that we are doing using AI, but still it will need human intervention where you need to just do a final check and sign it off. So as I mentioned you before, the result is definitely is going to save you time, right? And it will definitely reduce inconsistencies, any high prone errors as well. So I have a small video. It's a on a demonstration, so I'll be playing it for you. So what we have here is a sample NDA agreement. Just so you can see we have different fields coming here to place the signatures and everything. And also we have a set of clauses. So these clauses are predefined. So we'll be using this predefined set of clauses to to check any inconsistencies, any deviations in the NDA which we have shown you before. So what we do is we upload the document into this tool. So once you upload this document, and when you click on check document, you could see like how AI will analyze the document by itself. So it will take a bit of time. Yeah. So let me park here for a while. So like as you can So like as you can see here, we have the document on the left side, and in the middle and on the right side, you can see in the middle it will give you the set of deviations, like say these clauses are missing and you need to any recommendations as well. So you need to have these terms and conditions coming into the document. And on the right side, you can see what are the things that are present, what are the things that are missing, and what clauses or terms are partially incorporated document. And all these things will be tracked in a single document. So I'll just keep playing the video. Okay. So what you can see here is so in these missing parts and fields, you can see it will go through the entire document and see like the signatures are missing, right? And the confidentiality period is missing. So when it comes to these agreements and different stuff documents, we know that there's a specific criteria that each agreement or a contract should meet. So based on a predefined criteria, it will suggest you that these areas is like these set of fields or these set of terms is mandatory to be incorporated into the document itself. So yeah, so even you can see like it will confirm whether the required fields are there. So even what you can see here is like it will risk all the things as well. Now if I just park here for a while, you can see that the non-solicitation, the disputes and the limitations are missing, but it will also rank it according to the risk. So there can be high risk, it will be a medium risk one, and it can be a low risk one. So definitely you can skip the low risk ones for now, and what you can do is you can say, okay, so I'll be incorporating the medium risk and the high risk ones into the document, and you can send it out. So like I think now just think of it in this way. So if you manage to do this manually, what would definitely happen is that you might not be able to go to this extent by yourself, because going through the entire document and like classifying what are the high risk points that I need to include, what are the medium ones, and what are the areas that are missing, like you definitely it's a time consuming task that you have to do. But when it comes to AI, you can definitely use different metrics and different functionalities for you to give this depth of functionalities where it will do this task on behalf of you. So what you can see is the missing sections and even the acceptable clauses. You can see it will show the high risk, the classification, the risk classification as well. And on the middle, we have the suggestions. So what happens is when you upload the document, it will analyze the document and say like these clauses are missing, but better to have it, right? So what happens is when you click on mark as done, this entire clause will be incorporated into a document, and there is no need for you to manually type it. So the clause will be get added to the document itself. So even the required ones, like when it says it is required, then definitely you have to accept it. So what happens is when you accept that, those clauses will get added to the document. So this is a very simple solution that we have, but like these kind of tools will definitely help you to save your time, and basically to save your time. And when it comes to customizations, definitely we can see like based on your requirements, definitely we can customize these tools and solutions for you. So that's about the first pass tranche. So another one point to add here, so once you like to do all these amendments to the document, and if there's any approval process, like say you have to send this document to maybe the chair council, or it can be some other seniority level that you have to send this document for sign off, definitely we can see how these documents can be like sent for approval at different escalation levels. So that kind of a thing we can bring it as well. So two different pain points that can be like merged and like consolidate and do it, automate using AI as a one single using one single tool. So that's about the legal triage, but I'll just jump to the second use case, which is the case knowledge retrieval. So I think Enrico, I would like if you can take this up.
Super. Actually, before we go to that one, can you go to your one? I just want to add a few points there on the previous one. Yeah. So in this, I think one point to be clear is those clauses that we showed are our draft clauses. They will be based on your company's clauses. So your NDA will have a set of clauses. Your sales agreement will have a set of clauses. Your employment contracts will have a set of clauses, or your external consultant contracts will have a set of clauses. So it's always against that clause that we check the incoming document, right? So just wanted to put it there. It's not that you need to use our clauses, these clauses will be replaced by your clauses. And these are very sample clauses to show it can be as complex as you need to get it done. So just wanted to add that point before we go to the next section. So the next section is actually when it comes to litigation, some cases will run for years, decades, and then you will have a lot of documents to deal with. And then each time that you start working, you will need to go back and forth, like, these paralegal people do or anything like that, where there's a lot of manual searching across multiple files. It could be, some files may be in your current office, some things may be in archive. So that thing, the whole retrieval part of what are the actual documents that are needed when you're preparing for the next court date becomes a problem. The second is, there can be handwritten statements, pictures of, maybe a building or a land or things like that. So all those things a human needs to collect and then start analyzing it. So what we do is we take that whole set of documents, including all the evidence and all those things, and we kind of make it very human friendly, where you can ask questions and the AI will directly answer to you. For instance, if it's a land related thing and you want to go and say, okay, give me all the pictures of the land, it can bring you all the pictures of that evidence that is there with regard to the land, the deeds and all those kind of things, the pictorial evidence that you have. There can be witness reports that are, there. Yeah, so sorry, Sam. So let me try to explain from here. So uh, here what you can see is uh, 4 screenshots of that legal agent. So at the bottom one, you can see when we ask for the evidences, it will bring you from your document library of that case all the kind of evidences. So here we have a fingerprint, a weapon, and so on. It could be anything. It could be land. It could be whatever the case that you have. So there is no more, going into filing cabinets and filing rooms and bringing in data and somebody taking it and, taking photocopies of it and then sending it to others. None like that. The whole team has access to this legal agent, and then we can get it done. And you can ask any of the questions like, where did this incident take place? What was the evidence collected? So anything, what kind of a like a pre-trial thing that was agreed, whatever the questions in natural language you can ask, and then the AI will bring those things from from that case library into the how can I say, into that screen that you can see. Of course, if it's a document, there's always a hyperlink which you can click and then you can take the full document, because you may be asking just a paragraph or a particular certain line, but then that's how you search, but actually you need that entire document. So this will always give that reference link so that you can get the document and work. So again, from kind of a accessibility or access control perspective, you can give these to different layers of your organization who have access to things. And if you want to cross collaborate between cases or say, okay, we had a similar problem in a previous case, let's go to that, it can find that particular case and then you can ask questions on that, what happened and what was the kind of actions that you took, so that you can replicate the success of that, or whatever that went wrong in that on the new case, you can kind of not fall on those same kind of problems that you encountered. So this is basically for case retrieval, nothing to do with contracts or something like that. However, if you have ongoing cases and stuff like that, this is kind of a agent that we can give you to prepare for the next case and do things like that without too much effort. So that's basically the second agent that we have. Sonali?
Thanks, Enrico. So, I think from the use cases which we have demonstrated, and there was another one use case which I showed you with regard to policy based Q&A. So I think we we have seen that people facing challenges when it comes to different organizations where they struggling to find different information with regard to policies and stuff. So in that case, again, we can definitely, give you a very similar solution which we have showed to you earlier. So where we can, give all these policies and everything. We can fetch it to the agent, and basically we can, the staff can basically go and ask from the agent what are the different questions and inquiries on top of the policies which we have fetched. So there are different kind of tools and solutions that we can bring it in, but the real problem comes is actually what is the pain point that we need to address, which will definitely give you a quick win. Now, since I mentioned about a practical framework for getting started, this is where we bring all our customers in. So we basically we uh, think this from a transformation and a consulting perspective. So where we have different pillars, and each pillar act as a gate, and each gate is a flexible entry and exit for you. So if you feel that you have a specific requirement, you can definitely directly come to us through an implementation gate, and you can communicate the requirement to us, and we can tell you exactly how the solution should be done. But since we are talking about a consultancy, let's say there can be different aspects that you feel, okay, so I really know that AI can create value, but I don't know exactly where to start. So there are customers who have that question, who have that concern. So that's where we bring in this consultancy framework to them. So basically, we start with the discovery where we understand the business context, the business process, and we tell you exactly these are the pain points, these are the bottlenecks that you have, and these are the possible use cases that you can automate using AI. So what we do is we give you a kind of a kind of a priority list of use cases, and you can select which use case that you need to prioritize. So based on the particular use case, we will be defining you a scope and a roadmap, basically a solution designing part where we tell you exactly how that pain point should be addressed using a specific tool or a solution. And once you agree with the scope and the roadmap, we can definitely move it to the implementation. So the thing is you can decide whether you are going to drop from a specific gate, like say you can, if you want us to do the discovery and the blueprint for you, you can definitely get the implementation done from another vendor. It's not a problem at all. So the thing is, we really wanted to understand. We have seen how customers are struggling to they buy different licenses, different tools, but the thing is they don't know exactly where AI creates the value within the organization. So in that aspect, we recommend for you all to start with the consultancy approach, where we can either sit with you together, and we can see whether we can discuss with your teams and with the management, and see what are the pain points, what are the challenges that they have, or either you can come to us and say, so okay, this is our business context, and this is the business process, and these are the workflows, and we can definitely you can tell us the context, and we can tell you exactly, okay, so these are the pain points that you have, and these are the priority use cases that you can that we feel that AI can deliver values to you. So if you feel that you need more clarity on where to start, we recommend for you to start with a discovery session. And if you feel that you have a kind of very specific requirement, definitely you can come to us with implementation. So where we will definitely tell you exactly how the solution should be, like architecture, from a solution architecture into a adoption and scale, where we tell you exactly how the solution will be done, and the implementation and the user training, everything will be covered inside the implementation. So different entry and exit case, you can decide where to enter with. So like as I mentioned you before, so consult, actually you can't automate what you don't understand. So that's the exact thing I wanted to communicate. So you need to understand that the right problems should be identified, because you can't solve everything using AI, because it definitely needs a structured discovery that to ensure that we know the right problems, we identify the right problems, we are not assuming it. And the thing is, like as I mentioned you before, we actually we actually wanted to structure it based on what actually matters to your legal teams, not what the vendors think that it should matter. And even like as Enrico mentioned during the keynote, so governance from day one. So we always like keep every tool and solution within your tenant, and even the compliance is already compliance will be already there from day one, and everything will be built around your workflows. So we are not going to replace anything, but we're not going to replace any of your workflows, but what we are going to do is like basically we'll be building whatever the tool or the solution that you want around the workflows that you have. So, and clarity and before committing, yes, definitely. So that's why we recommend for you all to start with the consultation, because the consultation output is yours to keep. You can either decide to like proceed with Zillion or not. So it's up to you to decide to, as I mentioned during the previous slide, so you can decide at which phase you want to enter, and from which phase that you want to drop out. So as I mentioned, so consultancy is a part that we feel that every customer needs to start off with. So I think mirror, reveal, and the outcomes are clearly defined, and we showed you some of the demonstrations and like possible use cases that we feel that the legal teams might need to address using AI. So I would like to open the floor for discussions, basically Q&A. So if you have any questions, you can drop it in the chat, or you can unmute yourself and basically communicate it to us. So if you have any questions, you can either unmute yourselves and communicate it to us, or you can just drop it in the chat so we can provide the answers in the chat itself. Okay, it seems that there are no questions to be answered, but that's totally fine. So, like as I mentioned, so I'll just hand it over back to Enrico. So Enrico, you can just summarize what we have discussed so far, and also you can just communicate to our customers, to the audience, basically how they can reach to us and what will be the next steps.
Fantastic. So first of all, I hope that you all learned something, and from a capability perspective, what AI can deliver on a legal aspect, which can be very useful for you. So that's number one. And secondly, the consultation approach is there, or you can directly say we like to have the contract review agent. So then we can come and look at your system and then give you a very customized solution on that, which will kind of cut down 50 to 80% of your work time. So you can reach Sonali or myself. I think that my email is on the chat. I will put it on the chat. So you can reach out to Sonali on these numbers or emails, and looking forward to kind of having a further discussion on how you can use AI for your legal teams in your organization. Uh, that's it from us. So I'd like to give 15 minutes back to all of you who joined the webinar, and thank you. And let's see you in one of our upcoming webinars once again. Thank you.
Thank you so much.